what principles do you rely on when you're making big decisions like that, or what principles do you think are very important for that decision-making process?
You don't get to unscramble eggs. You decide whether you want sunny side up or scrambled eggs, but once you scramble it, you're not going back. You can always kind of scramble a slight up egg. But, I think one thing that you have to really think through is whether it is a one-way or two-way door, and deliberate more on decisions that are more irreversible. Within that, I think, you want to take, for me, what's always works well, and I take input from my other leadership team members. Obviously, as a person, I'm a young CEO. I was spun the company out as a founder, really technical background. So what I tend to do is surround myself with good people who I can rely on for the decision, and listen to their inputs and listen to their advice, and then balance that with the different views. Ultimately, having different opinions and being able to take those and see the bigger picture puts you in a good position to be able to say, okay, this seems like the right decision. But as in this role in a startup, you're continuously making decisions with incomplete information.
Mm-hmm.
And so one thing that's really important is to document the reasoning of that decision at that time. In the future, that will change, and we might have new information, and then we have to analyze it and decide whether that was the right thing to do. But taking input from the different parts of the leadership team is critical for me. Taking input from the different board members is critical for me, and having alignment in the direction that we're going, and saying why that direction meets the overall objective of where we're trying to get to as a company. That needs to be thought through really well. And those are some of the principles that I'll usually look into, is like, does this meet the end goal, working backwards from it and saying, okay, this is on path to that, and then making sure that we have all of the opinions considered very thoroughly.
Absolutely. I imagine, being in the VC backed world, there's probably no shortage of, support in terms of decision making. How have you found that as this, being your first time, working on in a venture backed company? Did you feel like that was constraining, or that it was really valuable to have that support?
I think it really depends on partners that you bring in, and the groups that you bring into work. And this is one of those scrambled eggs things again, right? When we chose the investors that we chose, whether it's Breakthrough, BMW, BDC, we chose them because we felt they were value adds, and it was much more than the money. We also did reference checks, and we knew that they're good people to work with. So I haven't felt constrained at all. In fact, incredibly supported by the three main investors that we've had from the last round. They have a depth of knowledge that we necessarily don't have, because we're focused on one company and our goals.
Right.
But companies like Breakthrough, BMW, BDC, they have portfolio companies, right? So they're looking at a breadth of companies, and they know what good looks like, and they know what bad looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And what's really helpful is working with them to understand, am I on the good or am I on the bad?
Right.
I know this is what bad looks like, and I know this is good looks like. Well, how do I work with you to make sure that we look good, or we are what good looks like? And so those are critical factors in the support that you often get. And they are able to see few things from the high level that you maybe don't as much, because you're in the trenches.
Right.
And so that input is critical.